You know I wanna ride you right. We be making love time. You know I'm gonna ride tonight. I know I drive you crazy. I'm your babe.
Hello, and welcome to the Super Business Women Show on the Financial Power Hours here on Intellectual Radio. I am CEO C, giving you all things couture, and I definitely want to thank you all for tuning in and listening in on us, because you could be listening to anything, but you're here listening to these gems that me and my wonderful co-hosts will be dropping today. Who else is here with me today?
Yes. Welcome to this 2 hours of information with our names, God's goddesses. We're no longer thoroughbreds.
Thank God.
I'm Shavonna from Anointed Accounting, giving you all the financial information that you need. Please feel free to call in at 708-223-8953.
Hi there. This is Shar Unlocked, Love, Loans, and Lifestyle. Thank you for joining me on our date today. Remember, it's every Saturday we're dating now.
Oh,
Yes,
Here on
yes.
iHeartRadio, download the Intellectual app. Join us live on all platforms: Facebook, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X. Right? It's not Twitter; it's X. So join us on there at Char Lewis.
Hi, everybody. I'm Crystal Lewis, and I am your realtor here. I'm here to discuss real estate with you. I'm here to discuss the criminal justice system. And if you have any interest in discussing lingerie, picking up some, I'm your lingerie lady, too. So that's me.
That is super exciting. So, guys, I hope everybody is prepared for today. Some things that I touched on last Saturday was operating yourself as a business as an independent musician. So, I did have some things I wanted to talk a little bit more on that. I actually brought some of that up last night in one of my interviews. And I feel like it's appropriate since we're all business women,
Yes.
and we have this amazing event coming up. And this is important. So that event, if you guys haven't heard already, is the $1 Million of Funding Small Business Summit, which takes place a Sunday, November 17th from 1 to 7 p.m. at Zicomo Suites, which is located at 6343 South Western Avenue in Chicago. Tickets are on sale now. They're only $75. So make sure you get those tickets. You go to www.americandreamtaxoffice.net. And we also still have some sponsorship opportunities available. So I definitely look forward to seeing all the businesses, entrepreneurs. If you're interested in starting a business, be at this event, get these gems. There's so much information that is going to be given that day. So leading into that, as everybody knows, for the most part, that I am a music executive. I am the CEO and founder of Couture Music Management, as well as my subsidiaries. So my primary focus over the years has been the education and the empowerment of independent musicians and labels. So what I did touch on a little bit last week was that you need to operate yourself as a business, and that might give question marks, because what does that mean?
Yes.
So what that means is that you need to incorporate yourself. I'm not going to speak too much on if you should be an LLC or if you should be an S corp, because
Do your research.
do your
research. That is most valuable. Ask questions.
And you know what I was actually thinking on the way here, Shavonna, is since you're in that particular field, have you represented any entertainers?
No, I have not yet,
Yeah.
but it's coming. It's coming.
Probably very soon.
Very soon. Everything's
Very
going to
soon.
happen soon. So maybe
Very soon.
tomorrow, that's just how soon. So
Exactly.
I'm just optimistic. Anybody could give me a phone call. There is no law written where it says I have to be rich or I have to have a certain amount of money to have an accountant or to have an accounting agency
Absolutely.
represent me. So I talk to anybody. If you collect cans for a living, you can have an accountant.
Hey, let's get those
So
write-offs.
right, right, that part. Yes, yes, yes.
But as an entertainer, there are some specific things that you can actually write off. So that's why I was kind of asking about that, even like from your wardrobe and things like that. There's some obvious specifications. They has to be purchased specifically for events, and so. But there is some things that I'm pretty sure a lot of artists don't even understand that the money that they're actually spending, without even having any tracking of that can actually be written off.
Yeah, some of it. Yes.
Yeah. But
yes, it's publications out there, and again, that's why it's best to have an accountant to talk to.
absolutely.
Is best to get someone who's familiar and whom also does the research, right?
Yeah.
Because again, you don't want anybody telling you anything.
Right.
And to touch bases, piggyback off what you just said about last week, we also touched on Shar brought up integrity.
Yes.
And my line was trust. So with that, like you said, entertainers just don't know, what they're supposed to be. So
True.
that trust lies there. And in all of our fields, Chicago's finest here, our real estate agent, you dealing with music, we have to have what they call that blind trust.
Mm.
Because again, you're being vulnerable and you're opening up yourself and your personal business
Yeah.
to these people. And that's where that trust comes in at. And that blind trust, I can give you an example, is what me and Brian had.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Brian met during the pandemic, the end of 2019 going into 2020. He had told me, look, you're going to do my taxes. Didn't ask no process, didn't ask nothing. Just
signed you up.
I'm gonna have Brittany send you over my documents. And I didn't do anything but laugh. And I'm like, who does he think he is? But it was that blind trust.
Yeah.
And to add to that, last Saturday was the first time we had ever saw each other face to face.
Wow.
Now
So that's blind trust.
So I was bullied today and told by Brian that I'll have an assistant by December 1st and that I cannot function or
Mhm.
go forward past December 1st without an assistant. I wasn't asked.
Mm-mm.
And when I tried to tell him that, hey, listen, I got it under control, he called me back, threatened to sing to me.
Oh
Yes.
goodness.
Now you see why he needs to be in that yellow suit.
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, I think I've
Absolutely.
changed the color. I would like baby blue.
Baby blue. Oh God,
Yes,
Brian and baby
yes.
blue.
And of course, our CEO Lexi can go ahead and host that. Like, yes, I think we should have that.
You know, I can put a shindig together.
We can facilitate that.
Yeah,
You can
absolutely.
facilitate that. Okay. Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yes,
I
but
think it's important to have an assistant though. So that's some pretty
So-
solid bullying. If you're gonna bully.
absolutely. He said some other things that we won't get into on the radio. But yeah, I felt bullied, right? I started to go and call and get a case report and stuff.
Oh,
But
goodness.
it was I was left with no choice.
you don't. It's like you don't have a choice with Brian, right? It's
Absolutely.
I think you always have a choice.
No,
like
Brian
you
didn't
do,
give
but
me
not
a
with
choice.
Brian.
No,
Sometimes
I didn't get
Brian
a
just
choice.
don't. Right, he don't care about your process. He doesn't care how you're set up. He's look. This is what I want to do, and I had to tell him, bruh, slow down.
So what he did today was he was asking me a series of questions, and he was like, "Yeah, I know it's a little intrusive, but I need this information for the next question." So I gave it to him. It was no big deal. However, I'm getting an assistant in a few weeks. Needless to say,
Right,
Well, I
because
think if
he
I
did
could
it.
say that, I think that getting an assistant is good if it's necessary, but it is
Absolutely.
a very close quarters when you have an assistant. So for me personally, I would suggest, just me making a suggestion, to interview the assistant.
oh,
You know,
definitely,
right, just-
definitely.
Mhm.
My problem with him is what I told him was, listen, honey, I don't have time to
Mhm.
interview and make a mini me, because that's basically what an assistant
Yeah.
is.
Yes,
And he told me I don't have a choice not to.
right. So Crystal, since you made that comment, do know that Brian's gonna be calling you next, telling you your date when you're gonna get an assistant. I'm sure Brian is gonna try to call me, but I use my block list out.
So-
If you want to offer up an assistant, I'll take out the time for the interview of the
Yeah.
assistant because I think that it can help you move forward.
It's just that I think
But-
what happened is we got into a conversation, and I think what happened in me explaining everything. So he knows, I'm transparent. So he knows everything I have on my plate, and it's a lot. Balancing, I hadn't been to sleep in 2 days, but I'm insisted on getting everything done. So I hadn't been to sleep. I think I had like 3 hours in like 2 days. So
You look fabulous for 2 hours of sleep.
Well, thank you, honey.
We
Little concealer
got
here or there.
we got to put that out there.
So yeah, that's where that came in. He just didn't wake up and say, "Hey, you need an assistant." It was because of everything on my plate. And then
Yeah.
we covered some more ground, which I ended up texting him back. And this is the only time I'm going to say this. I told him he was wonderful
Oh, that's sweet.
Aw.
and that we're forever locked. So,
Yes.
I appreciated the push, although I was irritated when he pushed. But the reflection was I appreciated it. So thanks, B.
And you gotta appreciate that because it's love behind it. And
That's true.
as he said last week, he has more than just a business relationship. He calls and you
Yes.
have these meetings and
Yes.
and you have these disagreements and the love is still there. But again, that goes back to that trust and building that relationship
Absolutely.
and building that foundation. And
See, it's a little more to me than trust. It has to be total integrity because
Mhm.
if you don't have integrity, I can't trust you.
mhm,
So I can't be transparent
Right.
if you don't have integrity. So it goes back to the integrity part of everything. It's the
Yes.
forefront of everything. So
yes, and it speaks for itself.
absolutely.
Because it's there. You see,
Absolutely.
all four of us are here.
Yeah.
Second show, many
Yeah.
more to come. So
And we always got to give, like, I gave Brian his flowers last night on our interview, and that there's certain people, how I worded it, that God sends into your life
yes,
and like spotlights the things in you that you may not even see in yourself.
Absolutely.
And
Mhm.
Brian has been one of those people, especially in my life, that's like, hey, I know you do this and you do that and do this, but I see more for you.
mhm,
And that uncomfortable, like, well, I don't know. That's that moment you're like, wait a minute. If somebody else outside of me that doesn't even know me personally and they can
Yes.
see that in me,
mhm,
then you got to dive into that uncomfortable zone and you have to
yes,
see, like, okay, we know there's no growth in comfort. So when somebody makes you uncomfortable with suggestions and things like that, that
Mhm.
is outside of your, well, this is what I'm used to,
yes.
go for it.
You got to, and
agree.
Go for it.
you got to.
It was a little different for me because I'm the one that is the pusher. I'm I'm normally the bully in the family, the bully in the friendship. I'm a little overwhelming with personality. So for someone to not only provide, I'm the solution provider. I tell my family,
Yeah.
my friends, they know if you come to me, it's a solution. We're not going to banter back and forth. I am going to provide a
Yes.
solution
Yes,
and execute it. So for him to provide me a solution, me the support, kudos to him.
Well,
yes.
we have all different types of personality types.
Yes.
So with the team that I'm on, we took this personality thing, this personality A.
Yes, I took it.
Right. So
Mhm.
for me, I'm kind of more in the middle of everything. I think a lot of times people say, well, I'm a high D personality. I'm a jerk. I can be this way and I can be that way. But that's no excuse to
Mhm.
be that way.
Mhm.
So a lot of times when you have those very strong personalities, a lot of times people feel like they have to be on eggshells to speak with you or
Mhm.
offer you advice. Because I have some friends that have very high personalities.
Yes.
Mhm.
But the reality of it is that you can't have an equally yoked relationship, friendship, or anything if a person has to walk on eggshells.
Right.
So for Brian to express himself with someone who has a strong personality, as you
Mhm.
described yourself as having, that is a big deal.
It is,
and it's very
indeed.
admirable of him to do that because a lot of
Absolutely.
times we are so concerned with tainting the relationship that we don't say how we feel. But to me, it's all in how you say everything.
Yes.
But is it an authentic relationship if you cannot
Correct.
be transparent
I agree.
and honest with someone?
I agree.
Is the relationship authentic?
No, that's just
Yeah.
someone you
That's
want
a
to
surface
talk to.
relationship
Yeah.
That's
because
true.
if you can't take redirection and correction,
Mhm.
then we probably don't have a real relationship
That's
because
true.
Not at
I
all.
can take redirection and correction because that's
Yep.
a part of growth.
I
That's
agree.
how
Yes.
Yeah.
you get to the next level. What is you can't fix what you don't face.
It's all
True.
in how you say it for me, though.
Well,
Yeah,
That's
some-
what. That's how I am.
sometimes.
so for me,
Sometimes you
it
can't
depends
be
on
so
who it is. My
nice.
sister's not going to sugarcoat anything. She's going to call me and say, "Listen, chick, you did this, 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 and this, and that's not cool. Don't do it anymore."
Hmm.
Period. That's it, right? And then, if I'm dealing with a coworker or
Correct.
someone I'm working with, they may come with a different approach.
Correct.
So it's all about personality.
Right.
I don't expect one of my friends with a big personality to come to me and say, "Oh,
Correct.
So I receive it based on who it is, their energy,
Mhm.
and our relationship and what I know them to be.
Mhm.
So some people aren't going to sugarcoat it for me. And I appreciate that.
Yeah,
They gonna
I
tell you
don't
the
want it
truth.
sugar coated, but I want you to have some tact when you talk to me. I want for you to speak with me. I find that in business and just in relationships, a lot of times people tend to think that they can just say whatever when you do have a passive or a kind spirit, more of a projected kind spirit.
Mhm.
But me personally, I'm not. It's all in your approach. You could tell me anything as long as you say it to me with a level of tact and class. That's how I
Well,
get
also,
along.
they may feel like they have that relationship with you where they don't always have to be intact. They can step outside of the box, or they can come to you with another approach.
Well,
I mean,
you have to think of it like this too. Um, Everyone has a different personality, and your perception of what they say could be not how they intended to say it.
Hmm.
And it all depends on your filter. If
Right.
you're what your traumas are along your journey, whatever filter you're ingesting the information also,
Hmm.
because you can say one thing if people who have multiple children, you could say one thing, the same thing to different children, and it's received different
Absolutely.
ways.
Definitely, yeah.
So, it's all about relationship, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
And also, iron sharpens iron. So when we do get that criticism, that's kind of the helpful criticism, that
Yeah, it
constructive
just makes you
criticism.
want to better yourself.
Yes.
It's like a challenge. It's like, okay, wait,
Yeah.
nah, I know I can do better than that.
Exactly.
It depends on where I am too, because if I'm up here,
Yeah.
you may have to meet me here to tell me what you need to tell me.
Right.
You can't be right here and I'm
Right.
up here. I'm at that height, that energy level up here,
Yeah.
and you're talking to me down here. You can't do that.
We
You have
actually
to meet
talked
me where
about
I
that
am.
last night too. It's just like how do you critique music and tell artists that oh, this isn't good music.
You
And-
say it.
Well, and it depends on where that's coming from, because is that coming from a fan of the music, is it coming from a connoisseur of music, or is that coming
Right.
from a music executive that's branding and building an
Well, all
artist?
of those make a difference
Absolutely.
in
Yes,
music.
you got to know your
So
audience.
for me, in my position in music, even if I don't like the music, somebody else might, because got to think how many
That's true.
billions of songs are out there
Right.
that we don't listen to, but
Mhm.
they have following. They have people that listen to it. Different genres. I listen to a multitude of genres, so I'm a little bit more flexible with sounds.
Mhm.
But there's definitely going to be some music that's going to come across my email or my inboxes, and I'm going to be like, oh, there's now we have to look into other things.
Well, that's where the research comes in, right? To
Yeah.
see on the executive level, to see
Yeah.
if there's a audience for that, right? So
Absolutely.
And you take
that's where that
votes.
comes in at.
Absolutely. If they have a fan base already, that's telling in itself. If they market themselves a specific way and they have following and they have people that actually subscribe to them and things like that, that's already like you're putting yourself already.
Right. They're starting
Yeah,
somewhere because they want to get recognized.
Exactly.
So
And
they're
you're putting
trying.
the work in to
Yep.
even do that. So it's not so much my job to say, hey, your music is good or bad. Now, if the sound quality is an issue, of course, that's something you got to say, hey, this is
Right.
the levels are off. This needs to
Right,
get
right.
remixed or remastered. And I've actually had to go through that with my song because I've had a song out for a long time I don't really promote and things like that because it's very old. But I had it remastered. And salute to Ejila Beats over at the Orchestration Institute. He does mixing, mastering, DJ, producer. Phenomenal. He's got a venue space as well. He took this song and it was like, it was good. But he
So you
made it
should play
like
it.
fantastic. Well, you know what? Because I'm waiting on another version because there's a remix that's connected to that. So I'm waiting on the release of that and then other things to really hone in on that. But one thing when it comes to music for me is I started in entertainment as a rapper, as a poet, as a lyricist. That was my thing. The difference coming back into this industry, you know, in 2020, if I walk into a room and say, "Hi, I'm Lexi, I'm a rapper," or well, I was Princess back then. I'm a rapper. I'm going to have a different conversation from the executives all the way down to the artists than I do when I walk in the room and say, "Hey, I'm CEO Lexi of Couture Music Management. I'm a music executive." It's a different conversation. I'm a business.
It is.
Lex,
I am a
Lexi,
business.
I'm going to need to hear that song. She's so well spoken.
Yes.
She's so polite.
And it is
Such a soft
polite
energy.
Soft
I
energy.
need to hear that song.
Yeah, I vote that
She said
we
she was
should
a
hear it
rapper.
today. Yes.
I need to hear that song.
Yes.
You guys can hear it everywhere. It's CEO Lexi. It's Do You Think of Me? It's on all platforms.
And it's a rap.
It's hip hop. It's hip hop.
hip-hop.
It's
Okay.
hip hop.
That's the one you sent me, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
It's hip-hop.
Okay. So I heard it. It was nice.
Oh,
Yes,
okay. Hey,
check it
guys
out.
watching my live, give us a call. Let's talk. 708-223-8953. Join in the conversation. You guys have some questions. We have a wealth of information sitting here at this table. Give us a call.
Absolutely.
708-223-8953.
I have a question. Are we just asking?
Okay.
We got a new man in office today. Are we going to touch on that or?
Well, God is still in control.
In
We didn't get
control.
anyone in office that's new. Jesus still reigns, right?
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
So whatever effects that happened or didn't happen, he's still happening.
On my professional position, I choose to keep religion and politics in my pocket. I don't think it's something that is beneficial. And mainly because I observe and if you were anywhere besides under a rock the past couple of days, social media has been absolutely upside down, you know, and I really despise the fear that was pumped out. Like the energy on election day was so thick, like I didn't even want to go outside. And it was the fear that was being pumped more than anything. And then even afterwards, the fear. And it's just like, hello, it's faith over fear. God is in control. So
It's
Yes.
definitely faith over fear.
Always. Always.
What I took away from the election was bullying, intimidation,
Mhm.
not letting people be people.
Mhm.
We all are individuals
And
with
all have our own
individual
political rights.
with individual thoughts.
Yes. Yes.
God gives us free will. He doesn't even force us to worship him. He gives us the
Nope, and he
choice.
still
It's free
loves you.
will.
He still loves you.
In addition, we live in a democracy. We've been afforded the right to live in the United States, right?
Mhm.
And it's free will. Democracy. You get to vote for who you want to vote for. Why does that matter to anyone who you vote for? And what your reasons are? Why are we explaining that?
Yeah. And
We got to get away from that as a society.
exactly. And in relationships, because there was people that were literally like, oh, if you voted for this person, delete me. And I'm like, you guys are seriously ending friendships over views and opinions?
Well,
Like,
Yes.
that means
They were never friends
Yeah.
to begin with.
Well,
and
views and opinions count though, because it does give a lot of your mindset and the way that you think about things. But I don't think that it should be the controlling factor
yeah.
of your engagement with someone. Because me personally, I let people be people.
for me, I have, and I disagree. I think that as long as you can articulate why, because
Yes.
like I said, you can have multiple children and they all will have the same experience, right? And come out with different versions of what that experience was.
Absolutely.
So
it's their opinion.
it's their opinion. And the way they ingest it, the
Right.
same scenario, the same experience is a lot different than their brother or their sister, their sibling. I grew up in the house and my brother tells a story and I'm like, yeah, it didn't happen that way. I'm looking at my sister like,
Right.
you were there, right? And she's like, yeah, we're on the same page, but he took something different
So
from
he
it.
perceived it differently.
So for whatever reasons, I could care less. My friends are my friends. My loved ones are my loved ones across
That's true.
political lines.
Mhm.
And people need to stop aligning themselves with a political party and align themselves with themselves, with themselves.
Yes.
Because you have to vote your interest at that particular time. Perhaps maybe the party that you are used to voting for doesn't have a candidate that sufficiently aligns with you at that particular time. Who I am at 20 is not who I am at 30. Who I am at 30 is not who I am at
That's
40.
true.
Definitely not.
So
growth.
it's gonna vary. And that's why I let my children, I support the decisions, to where for whatever party they want to vote for, as long as they can articulate and research and not get it from social media or
Right,
socialization.
Do their homework and the
Yep, do their
research.
due diligence.
And we
They
can
have
talk
to know.
about it.
Yeah.
Right. That's
Yeah.
how,
There's
that's how I feel
dialect.
about- I agree.
So
No,
I
agree
could
with that
care
too.
less.
Yeah.
Who you vote for your reasons could be for whatever. That's between you, God, and whoever candidate you voted for. I don't get to bully or change your mind, not even if you came through me as
Yeah.
a child.
I had a friend. I thought it was from 2024's election, but it was from 2020. And he said he had I wasn't reading it right on social media, but he had people come over and he had some cookies that were Trump cookies in the bathroom. And he said someone that came over stomped them out and threw them in the garbage. And I'm like, wow, that's so disrespectful to
Those
come
cookies
into-
was probably good.
well,
Cookies in the
possibly.
bathroom is a little questionable, but
but I found
Maybe
it
that's
to
why they
be-
stopped.
I wasn't going to let that slide. But
Maybe that's why they stomped them, because
But
they were in the
it's extreme.
bathroom.
But it's extreme. I think people do take it too far with
Yeah.
their opinions of things. To whereas if you would come in someone's house, and 8.5 times out of 10, if you're friends with them, you have some idea of their political view. To do something of that sort,
Yeah.
So it was
It's
humorous to me. I
disrespectful.
thought it was funny, but I also thought it was bananas.
So we were the other day, I was talking to some friends and we were, having conversation and banter back and forth and teasing one another about where we stood politically. It was all fun and games.
right,
At the end of the day, we lack respect for our next human being.
Mm.
I respect them. So I respect their right to have their opinion,
Mhm.
to have their vote, to have
Absolutely.
free will. And that's basically all it boils down to it.
Right, because your friendship isn't based on.
Not even my friendship, people that I don't know. The young lady there that's standing out in the lobby,
Mm,
if she told me she voted for Donald Duck, God bless you.
right.
Yeah.
Who am I
Right.
to tell you that I am wholeheartedly right?
I
Or-
agree.
Who am I?
I agree
Because
with
you have the opportunity
And the
to
free will.
exercise free will.
Yeah.
God gave it to me. It's my innate right through him, my divine right through him.
Yeah.
So you're going to
Yeah.
take that from me? You cannot like someone, and all the stuff that I see going on. They need to focus on these local elections.
There it is.
Well, I did.
Mhm.
I did listen to Kamala, however you say her wonderful name, and her concession speech was absolutely fabulous. If you guys didn't get a chance to hear it, and the reason why I say it was so fabulous is because it was graceful, it was eloquent, and it was said with tact and class. And I
Mhm.
think with all of this, that's the way that you have to handle things.
And
So
you
she
see-
represented that.
You see a whole nother. I thought that we should have turned the page. I saw the speech, and the speech was good.
That's all. I
But there
had.
was a couple things about the speech that I was like, let's let that go. You know what I mean? Let's
Yeah.
let some of that go. I didn't like the fact. So she looked great that day, and she was full of energy, which I loved.
Mhm.
But I did not like that you left your people hanging for that long. Come out, do a speech. Let's give them their flowers for holding you up through this
True.
election and for doing that kind of stuff for you, standing in line, knocking on doors, arguing on social media with other people,
Sheesh.
bullying if that's what they were doing for you.
Mhm.
I'm sure she did endorse that, but you
Yeah.
get what I'm saying. I just would have liked to have seen her come out that night and address her
Oh,
people.
she came out the next day.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the
Okay.
next day.
See, I don't know.
The
that
next
much, but-
afternoon.
Okay.
Which
but-
some of it I understood because it was like 2 a.m. Well, I'm not sure where they were, but it was like 1:30 when everything was
Yeah,
like,
but I
it
think
was super late. Like if you watch the people, I actually I don't watch TV, but I watched it because I seen what time it was and I knew how old some of them people were standing on stage, and I wanted to see was anybody going to take a little nap while they were standing. But
Uh-huh.
that was my entertainment because I was like, "Whoo,
I
I was
love it.
tired
You
myself."
wanted it for
Yeah, I wanted
entertainment.
I
You
wanted
wanted
some
entertainment.
entertainment out of
I
it
resemble that remark.
because they were up there, and I'm like, and they're in heels standing. I would have like, "Oh, it's time to go, guys. It's time to go." Hilarious.
Well, let's take these heels off.
Yes. You should always
I
have
just wanted
those.
to touch on it a
those
little bit.
flats
I
in
know
your
yeah,
that, you know,
I
it's a big thing
appreciate
going
it, and
on.
I, although it didn't turn out the way we wanted it to, God is still in control, and if you trust Him, if you truly
That's true. I
trust Him,
agree with
Yes.
on
you know
that.
it's His divine will to have it done that way. So He has a reason for it, and we just have to trust in that and know that we're covered, no matter who's in charge.
I agree with you on that.
And also to speak on social media to everyone that does take their time to be on social media and utilize those platforms. One of the tips that I have for everyone is to use social media for your benefit. If you are
Mhm.
not monetized on social media already, I don't. I can't fathom what you're doing. There, even if it's only a couple dollars, they don't pay us a lot. But
Yeah,
they don't pay us a lot.
Yeah.
But
worth it.
however,
I
they
shouldn't
do.
say that. It
They
is.
do pay. It depends. So there's
Forgive
the straight monetization. It's not a great amount of money. However,
Mhm.
if you do sign up for the other options like ads on your reels, ads on your videos,
You're right.
if you post consistently, I actually had an executive call with a lady from Meta that we were talking about that because she was like, well, how do you want to, what are you looking for to boost? And I said, I want to boost my engagement on Instagram.
Mhm.
When I started my Instagram, it was like arts and crafts. So, going back to how I said I started and everything, even though I started in music, I'm also an artist. So, couture came from fashion design, and it came from me creating custom clothing, custom decor for homes, drinkware, all these other things that I had that business first.
One
So,
stop shop.
yeah, absolutely. So, y'all gonna get my shameless plugs now. But when I started my Instagram, that's what I was pushing, and I had a different audience for that. So it grew based off
Right.
of that. So now when it's just like, oh, she's talking business, she's talking music, she's posting music, it's kind of like you see the little dip because they're like, no, bring back that art.
Bring back the what you
Well,
were doing.
That's where the content creators come in because we're all
Yes.
super, super busy. So that's where the content. There's one of the ladies that was there last week who did a fabulous job. Did you see? I didn't get a chance. I sent it to the Coco
Wrong number.
lady.
Okay.
Yeah, the
All
Coco.
righty.
Coco's now a part of our group chat. Inside joke, guys. So, hey there, guys that are watching on live. Give us a call, 708-223-8953. Mr. Dinwiddie, I know that you have something to say. You always have something to say.
While we're waiting on the next call, let me just jump in and let our people know that we are in the fourth quarter of 2024, right?
We
And
are.
being in that fourth quarter, it's now people are thinking about income taxes, right? And
Yes.
filing and how much I get.
We're so
and,
excited.
and tax brackets, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But I
She's
want
trying
you-
to stress me out today because I got some things
We're
that I
so
got. I'm
excited
working
about
on
it.
with that, and she's bringing up the business part. Oh my God,
because
lady!
people just want to know, right? So
Really?
like what a lot of people fail to do is around this time is if you've relocated or if your contact information has changed, you need to update that with your prior and or previous employer, right?
Okay.
Because what happens is you ready to file next year and you don't have a W-2. And why? Because it got mailed to the last known address that was on file.
And they just threw it in the garbage.
Right. And
who
so
was
now
this?
you got to call these people and wait. Some people have a 72 business hour turnaround time.
Yeah.
And if they don't feel nice enough to email that to you or fax it to
True.
you, it's going to go in the mailing system. So you want to just start getting that information updated. You also
Absolutely.
want to start looking at your W-4s because it's a domino effect. What happens at the beginning is going to trickle down to the end. So you want to know that. And if you end up in deficits, why? what tax bracket are you in. So that's another reason why you need to have an accountant, someone
is.
behind you, because a lot of people just don't think about this information, and
Right.
it's so important, and they just look at it, well, okay, now I have this is that. No, it starts from the beginning. And now companies don't teach that anymore. They don't show people what to do, and people
Right.
just don't know anymore. That's what anointed accounting is here for also.
So my co-host is absolutely correct, but she wants to like dim the light here with all this business stuff, right? She wants to make me start thinking about next year and give me an anxiety because taxes are really stressful. That's the
They're
reason why we
not.
have her.
We feel like Shara's
because
gonna
I-
get that assistant quicker.
Yeah. So
Yes,
I feel like
that's what
dumping it in
is.
her lap. I'm going to bring my taxes, right? And I'm going to lay them in her lap. I don't want to
Yes.
talk about them. I don't want to think about them. That's her job.
And you're right. And just
That
drop
is her
everything
job.
off.
That
Just
is her
drop
job.
any questions that I have. I'll get back
Utilize
with
your
you.
resources,
Yes,
guys.
Yes.
Utilize
yes.
your resources.
And you may very well get to love taxes.
Oh, no.
You may even
no.
fall in love with the IRS,
Listen.
like me.
No, when
Listen.
you're doing them, when you
Fall
find
in love with
someone
the
that's doing
IRS
it
is
right and making it
crazy.
so that you can get as less that you have to pay as possible. And some of those really good accountants who know what they're doing
Yes.
can
Yeah.
take you to that level.
I stay in my lane. I know what kind of person I am. I do the things that I'm good at. I'm going to lay that stuff in her lap.
Come on, bring it on. Anointed
For sure.
Accounting welcomes you. We want you. As a matter of fact, come now.
What's the phone number?
312-837-7219, 312-632-8860. I want you to get in touch with us. We have two numbers. Visit us at www.anointedaccounting.com.
So
I'm waiting to talk to you.
what
I don't
she
care
said-
how messy your documents are either.
So what she said is
We
call her
appreciate
at,
that disclaimer.
look at www.anointedaccounting.com. She went through all of that and she lost me. So I have a form of little ADHD, I guess. So yeah,
Yes.
what she was talking about was www.anointedaccounting.com.
Some people spell it with two N's. That's why I spell it out.
She spelled it anointedaccounting.com, but it is with one N. So Michael Dinwiddie says, I'm in a focus group and the results showed America's not ready for a woman president. Just want you ladies' opinion on it. Okay, well, that's interesting. I'm with you on that. And I
agree,
kind
too.
of thought that until the House flipped and the Senate flipped and the House is almost there. So I think people just want change. If it was related to her, we would have saw a different pattern, the House, a different pattern with the Senate. So I'm not inclined to agree with that after that came to light. So I initially thought that, Michael, but everything flipped. So I just think people want change. And she did not convey to us or to people, the ones that didn't vote for her, she did not convey to them enough or get the message across to separate herself from Joe Biden or the economy that's going on, what's going on in the economy right now. When she was asked, I guess they were saying that she said something like she wouldn't change a thing when in fact her policy says she would. But I don't think that message got over. And I think that it has nothing to do with being a woman after the House and the Senate are going that
Can
way.
I speak to that?
Absolutely.
I think that it definitely had something to do with her being a woman and a Black woman, and I just don't think that America is ready for that. And when the House flipped over, I don't want to get off into my thoughts too much about what I think because that's my personal opinion. But overall, I believe that it's a plan that is being devised that they want to have happen, and it's in fruition and happening now. I hope that it goes on the brighter side and the good side for all people involved. But my personal opinion about the woman, I don't think that America, the people that control America, is ready for a Black woman president.
Well, I think, with that being said, there is, when they did some kind of survey, poll, most Black people don't think she's Black. So,
and somebody said
so
that to
I
me
think
too.
I think that's an issue.
And
Most
yeah.
Black people have a problem
And
with
I'm
her
like,
being Black.
I thought
Well,
that was crazy to think that.
Well,
I
I've seen
did.
some despairing, some different things, not despairing, but some different where her mom was Indian, her daddy was Indian, but Jamaican, but Jamaican Indian. So I don't know. I didn't do the research on it. I didn't care enough for that
Mhm.
for me. And I think there was a time, even when Obama was initially elected, I think people will elect Donald Duck in a purple suit if it's going to suit them, if it's going to give them hope as to better finances or money in their pocket.
I agree with you on that, but the census says that whatever, if I say I'm Chinese, I'm Chinese. So if she's sitting up saying that she's Black, then they should take it as she's Black too. And I understand
what you mean, the census, like
when you do the Census Bureau, when you go around and you ask people what
oh,
nationality.
that comes around every 10 years.
Yeah, so I'm just saying
She
that
said every 10 years.
Yeah, isn't it every 10 years or something? Every 5 years?
Well,
It's not.
it's every decade. You're right.
Yeah, every 10 years. So
I don't think we should question when someone says what nationality they are.
Well, maybe when you disclose what nationality, when I guess during an elect, I don't know. So you have to. I'm always Black. I've been Black since birth. I've been proud African American woman since birth. I love being Black. I've always said I was Black, and I'm not just saying I'm Black because I'm on a radio show, right? So I'm Black, right? And I'm not just Black. I'm like caramel Black, right? Like brown Black. So I think that's maybe an issue, that the acknowledgement didn't come forth soon enough. I think most people kind of feel like it was embraced by us and she got pulled into that. You know what I mean?
I don't know. They always say she went to Hampton. Didn't she go to Hampton?
That don't make you Black because you go to Hampton.
Well, no, Howard, but that's an all-Black university.
I was like, the Hamptons?
Well, my son went to Morgan, and there were other ethnicities walking around another HBCU, so they're not just...
Right, I'm not taking away from that part of it, but what I'm saying is that she catered to that. She said she was, and she was an AKA. So that's all falls in line with what we call part of being the Black experience.
You know, I'm gonna take it back to what Shar Unlock said initially. God is still in control.
That's it.
Amen.
And
that's it.
And as long as we trust God, then we just have to follow the plan because He has the final say so. So
that's not true.
No.
So yes.
And as much as I love politics, I do want to bring up something that's going on tonight as far as current events. There is actually a movie premiere going on. I don't know if you guys had the opportunity to speak with Caprice and Fee. They are the writer, producer, and director duo of Jada. And I seen the preview for it. And like I said, I only watch a couple movies a year. This one seems good.
Where is it showing?
It's tonight at Curie Metro High School, 4959 South Archer in Chicago.
Curie High School.
Curie High School.
Mm-hmm.
And
so I wouldn't either. That's like 49th and Pulaski, like down there where the intersections meet.
Okay, and
it's not far from Midway Airport, guys. I went to a movie premiere with Will Adams. He had something. What was the name of the movie? Help me out, guys. Tubi movie. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. We saw that, and it's like a movie where they capture all of the bloops and blunders and kind of make fun of it. When I went in, I was just like, yeah, okay, what's that? But when I left, it was hilarious. It was entertaining. It kept me engaged.
Yes.
And the goodie treats that he gave out, that popcorn thing with a whole bunch of goodies in there. It was just, the whole experience. I loved it. We need to go as a group tonight to this.
This is about her dating, becoming a Fed or something like
her
that.
husband is, if I might be saying it wrong, but her husband is an FBI agent.
Okay.
And I know there was some
infidelity
there. Look, there you go. Infidelity. And yeah, like I said, I seen the preview and it looks really good. So shout out to Caprice Williams and Fee, this producer writer. director duo. These are independent filmmakers, and they're out here doing their thing. And salute to them.
Speaking of
Yes.
infidelity, I ran across something the other day and it got me to thinking, what do you ladies think about this? I posed the question, would you rather have transparency or honesty in a relationship? If you were given the choice, and why?
Whew.
Yes, that's
What-
definitely.
Can you make, because I kind of look at honesty and transparency as being kind of equal.
So
what's
for
the
me,
difference?
I would rather have transparency than honesty. Transparency, honesty is if I ask you something,
Got you.
you're going to tell the truth,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
Transparency
face.
is you're telling me what it is. I don't have to ask. You're transparent about your actions, the way you move. You're transparent about if for instance, if I say, hey, were you at the movies last night? And he said, oh, yeah, I was there. I ran into Sheila and I ran into BB. And yeah, we kind of all hung out and sat together. Right. I'm like, I didn't know you was going to the movies.
Right.
That's
Honesty. I
that's
like that.
honesty. He's being honest.
Mhm.
Transparency is, hey,
In
babe,
your
I'm going to the
face.
movies. I'll call you when I'm done.
Right.
Okay, but what happens if the night changes and it just doesn't go like that?
The night changes and it doesn't go like that. Well, then you
Yes.
update your, I mean, if you're transparent,
Okay.
they can trust what you say.
Mhm.
So someone says women don't want truth. Most can't handle it. And that may be
That's-
true, but
I disagree,
Depending
Mr.
on who you
Muhammad.
ask.
I agree with you a lot. I agree with you on that, Shaw, because I prefer transparency.
So let
Because
me
I'm gonna
tell
be
you,
transparent with you.
Mr. Muhammad, let me tell you this. Most women and respectable women would take honesty over BS any day. Tell me the truth. Give me the opportunity to make the
There it
decision
is.
for myself.
Yes. Yes.
And most times I'll support the BS, right? We'll support it. We love you. We'll support it. But ain't no but.
because
No,
you
it
are
is.
honest.
No, it is. We want the truth. I want the truth. I want to be in a relationship where I know where I stand, who I'm with, and that comes along with the, being transparent.
What
So
do
the
they
tr-
say, guys? If a woman likes you enough, she'll lie to herself.
Yes.
You don't gotta lie to her.
That's true. So
That's true.
Miss Palmer says transparency because I don't want to ask you 20 questions. Just tell all of it.
I
Thank
agree.
you,
Yeah.
Jesus. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Tell me.
You're absolutely correct. And again, Mr. Muhammad, again, we will go along. As Lex said, we'll lie to ourselves for you guys when we like you enough. Just tell me the truth. Give me the opportunity to respect me enough. Respect me enough to tell me what I'm in and what's going on and allow
Right.
me to make the decision.
Right.
Right?
Right. That's only fair.
It's
I
only
agree.
fair.
That's
Makes
only
perfectly
fair.
good sense to me. We will be sold on your BS. We will support you to the hilt.
I'm not.
Especially if I know the truth. No, if I know the
Crystal
truth,
said no, thank you.
I'm not
not.
supporting your BS, but I will.
and when
will
I say
take some
it may,
transparency.
so what I mean by BS, it may be BS to me,
Right.
but it may not be BS to you. Like, for instance, I maybe I shouldn't use that because we won't be friends anymore. So
Be mindful.
yeah, and demure, and right. What is it? Mindful, what is it?
Yeah, demure.
Demure and what's it? Mindful, demure,
Cutesy.
and cutesy.
That was a good combination.
Those are good
All
combinations.
of them.
Listen, when I say BS, I don't
Okay,
mean.
Tyrone's about to call in.
Come on, call in, Tyrone.
708-223-8953.
This is gonna be
You have
good
to
from a
enjoy when
guy.
the men answer the questions that were
I love
directed
it.
towards women. 'Cause
Yes.
I
Well-
bite my tongue when men ask questions that are directed to men. Them thoughts pop in, and I'm like, oh, but then again, I'm like, I can have an opinion, but I can't speak on how to be a man or how to.
That's true. So
Right,
I
right.
Feel
always
as
So
a man.
let me
understand a
give you
man's point of
this.
view.
When I started many years ago, started dating my guy, right? When we got together, what kept me with him was the fact that he was transparent. I
Mhm.
didn't have to ask a million questions. I did not have to guess where I stood. I understood it, and that's the foundation of our relationship today. Transparency. So
Yes.
men don't
That's
understand the value in that. And we're telling you, Mr. Muhammad, we're telling you what it is, and you're telling us that that's not the case.
Now, I agree with him. I agree with you on that too, Shar. I do. I agree with
You're
you on
telling
that.
us what it
Take
is.
what's coming out somebody's mouth.
Yes, we're women. We're telling you, and
I know I can handle it.
listen. What's going to happen is,
We
and
know
this
our
is probably the
limits.
reason why I have
We do, but
longevity
sometimes
with male relationships.
We overstep them sometimes.
Yeah,
We
we're
like
going
'em
to have
enough.
to have
Yes,
this conversation.
yes.
Out here bad.
We would try you.
Do you want to come up?
We
Or you
would
want to come
try
to the
you.
show one day?
Why does it have to be live? Call in. What, you can't handle this, Tyrone?
You can definitely come in for an interview, though. We won't deny that.
Yeah, we won't deny that. But what's
I
stopping?
don't think Tyrone is ready to sit with
I
all
don't think
four
he's
of
ready
us.
either.
I think he is. You know, Tyrone.
I do.
Oh yeah, Tyrone is ready. Ain't he?
Yeah,
Tyrone
always.
is ready.
So, yeah, but trust us, we're telling you, as balanced, centered women of a certain age and a certain stature in life, that we appreciate, respect, and it helps the relationship post, because everybody's not meant to be together forever, right? There's relationships that I have that they started out trying to talk to me, and I'm here at their wedding.
He said he just tried to call.
Oh, he said he just tried to call. 708-223-8953. 223-8953, and that's area code 708.
This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
Yeah. So for me, so you guys never answered the question about transparency versus honesty.
I definitely I already kind of knew where you were going with it, but I'm absolutely for transparency, because the same things that you said, similar. I don't want to have to find out on the after part. I don't want to find out afterwards. I don't want to question, because we have intuition anyways. So even if we're
gonna find
not
out.
looking for it, we're
We
going to
gonna
dream
find
about
it.
it. We're going to think about it. It's going to
It's
appear
gonna
in
pop
some
up
way
out
or
of
another.
nowhere.
And we have a caller.
We have a
Yes.
caller. I don't know what happened to Mr.
Alrighty.
Dinwiddie.
We have our caller. We're going to patch you on in. Hello, caller.
Hi,
Who
caller.
are we speaking with?
It's Tyrone Muhammad. How you beautiful ladies doing?
Hey,
We're
Tyrone.
phenomenal.
We are
Tyrone, how are you?
amazing.
Hey, Crystal, you did tell me I'm not ready. That's one thing. I'm the only one that's ready. You crazy?
Me and Shar said
I
you were.
said
I
this
said
was
you
gonna
were
be
ready.
good. I said this was gonna be good.
I'm ready to smack the devil, so I can most definitely deal with some queens.
That's all you doing is smacking the devil.
That's all I need to smack. Everything else to take care of its place.
Okay,
Okay.
that's a hard smack.
No,
You got
that
some.
ain't nothing.
No,
You
that's
got
the
some big
appropriate
hands.
smack.
It depends on who you're talking to.
So, Tyrone, the
All right,
question
so
here.
Let me say this, sisters. I appreciate y'all. Those conversations, oftentimes, those conversations I had in the vacuum, and then y'all talking to each other, and oftentimes men are not even present to defend even the point. So, with that being said, I would just add this caveat. We live in a society where, even with white people as well as black people, but the divorce rate is over 60-70%. Let's just say, what I'm saying is, and as it relates to black men and women, women probably outnumber black men, I would say 25-1. And this is why I would say that. And this is just a prelude to what I'm about to say about the truth. You have gay men who don't want no women. You have bisexual men who I hope y'all don't want them. then you got men who mass incarceration, and I'm gonna say it again, and y'all hate it alone, and this comes to the truth. Under the Democratic Party, black men and women are mass incarcerated in every one of these cities and states. Not just Democrat, but mainly Democrats. And then so you don't have that population to even have to be mates or deal with. Then you got men who black men running to white women because they can't deal with black women or whatever the issue may be, because black women run to white men too. Then you got brothers who dying, don't even make the age of 25 years old. Over 300 to 400 black men dead last year. Nobody hollers or screams. about any of that happening every day to y'all sons, nephews, cousins, husbands, sneaky leaks and everything, right?
Sneaky leaks. What sneaky leaks?
What
So,
do you
Mr.
mean?
Muhammad. So what's
Sneaky leaks.
Mr. Muhammad?
With
So,
that, go ahead.
so what we're talking about, and we want your expert opinion on this.
Yes,
Would
ma'am.
do you think women would rather have honesty or transparency?
And when you speak of women as a whole, I don't think that is fair, because some women are a little more conscientious about things than others. And so women as a whole, I would say transparency more than truth, because I have seen it too many times with the women in my family.
So why do you say transparency over truth? Let's we're gonna get another
because oftentimes, because of the level of insecurities that woman may have about the truth, men often have to show, look, baby, I'm going here. This is what I'm doing. Okay, this is what. And they'll say, hey, you don't have to tell me that. You don't have to check in, but they checking in with you. And they checking to see where you at. And I've seen some of the most sophisticated and even the most confident women. And so on the surface, it seems they're confident, checking in and checking on.
So, Mr. Muhammad,
they're not often so concerned about transparency as it is then become now they really believe in what you're saying. You often have to show them that you are a decent individual, or you trying to be as transparent as possible to not hurt her trust or build her trust because of whatever past relationship or issue she may have with the last cat she was with.
Okay, so I agree with that. There are some parts of that I can totally validate. And as far as women our age and of our caliber, I don't think checking in. I talk to my significant other probably 10 times a day. Just
why?
Oh, because I happen to like him.
Okay. 10 times a day.
I mean, and I say that's because in the morning, I'm gonna, say, hey, good morning, give them a motivational conversation. Then if something happens at work,
He said, "Oh wow."
Oh wow.
That's probably why you still married. Shit.
Well. Oh gosh. So
you can't speak for all women, though.
Mr. Muhammad,
you can't speak for single women as it relates to transparency.
I'm single, Mr. Muhammad. Legally, I'm single.
You just say your significant other?
Yeah, we're in a relationship. I'm not married.
No, you're not single.
So your tax return say single.
know you married.
The IRS doesn't let me file him. I can't file jointly with them, Mr. Muhammad.
No, that's right.
If you think being married with some paper make a man more righteous and upright towards you, you're wrong.
Mr. Muhammad, you're wandering off topic, sir. That's not what I said. But guess what? Mr. Muhammad? That's a great topic.
You brought him up, so I'm just only.
I did.
I think I'm on topic.
Yeah, so we definitely all pretty much agree that transparency is key, and we definitely want to thank you for calling in and giving us your views and opinion on this topic, Mr. Muhammad, and we definitely appreciate you tuning in. And do we have another caller?
We do.
We're going to talk to some more men and get their opinions.
Y'all take care, sister. I appreciate y'all. Keep up the good work.
Thank
you. Keep fighting.
Thank you so much.
Tune in every Saturday,
3 to 5.
Hey guys, would you prefer honesty or transparency? 708-223-8953. Mr. Dinwiddie, we're still waiting.
Well, I'm going to answer that for you, Miss Shara. I'm going to go with transparency, and I'm going to go with that not only because I think it's most valuable, but because I'm already detailed, right?
Right.
Like I said last week, I'm nosy, I'm thorough. I got to know what, why, who, when, how come, and when did it originate, and who sat at the table and thought about it.
Are you in law enforcement? No, that's our makeup. Everybody always says I'm nosy, and I'm a quiet nosy though. But yeah,
I'm no.
She's an accountant. I mean, I don't know how.
No, I need to know.
You can get.
I'm nosy. I want to know.
I just think both careers go hand in hand as far as investigating and needing to know everything.
And
see, for me,
I don't want nobody knowing everything about about me. I'm not going to ask
Well,
everything.
you're not
about
ready
you,
for marriage, baby.
and I'm not going to tell you everything about me. I mean,
But it's people you don't lie to, and I tell that to all my
but
clients.
I don't think you. But I'm sorry, but I'm not speaking in terms of not being honest. I just feel like everyone is entitled to having their own life and their own thing outside of me. So I'm not gonna quiz you about your whole day. And
I can appreciate that.
So I don't think
That's
it's about,
just me.
I don't think transparency is about quizzing, right? For instance, if I leave here today, right, and we go see Jada, I'm going to call him and tell him how well, he's actually already called and he's going to ask me how the show went and, what did I think and how did my class go? And, we're going to have that conversation. Right. I've already talked to him while I was in class because that's what we do. We encourage and support each other, right? Something happened during the day that he wants me to see or something he's watching politically or, there's an email. So I think it's relationship. It's not, I guess it's all in how you view it. I'll mention, hey, I'll call you when we leave. I'm getting ready to go. He said, can't call into a loud environment at the moment. Okay. I think that when I tell him, hey, babe, I'm going to call you later. I'm getting ready to go with the girls to see Jada.
Right.
That's transparency. That's not me checking in. Like I have to do it. There's no formal requirement, but you want to be courteous. You want to be,
and anything
when
can
you're in a
happen
relationship,
nowadays.
it should be with ease. It shouldn't
I agree
be.
with
It should.
you.
It should be. I have no problem sharing. Yeah, it's ease. It's exchange of information. It's exchange of energy. It should be with ease. It shouldn't be thought of as checking in.
Yeah, and also it's
Grown
a
people don't
lot of
check
stuff
in.
happening out here nowadays, and you want to
That's what
let
I'm
somebody
saying.
know
Right.
where you are and what's happening and what's going on, because you just never know, and you always want, just if not more than one, but that person that you talk to regularly on the day to day where you are. Whereas like me, I send out a group text, hey, I'm going to Pete's grocery store on 115th. And I want you to come
But you know
find me if
what?
something wrong.
Shar made a very big point in this conversation, and that was that she likes him.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think a lot of
Yes.
people don't like the person they're
That
with,
they're with.
And that's where you see that, where it's like a control thing, or they're
Correct.
projecting insecurities, or
It's
they're projecting
perception.
other perceptions.
Remember earlier in
But
the
when-
conversation, I said people ingest information through a filter.
Exactly.
And their filter could be whatever. It could be, it's a part of the journey they've been through.
Right.
So some people
Because your
filter
lack of
is
trust,
filthy.
that's why women
They're
do
still
it.
holding on
It's
to
filthy.
the two
It
relationships
needs to be
ago.
cleansed.
The middle
Let's go
school
to the first one
relationship that they got cheated
not even the two,
when they
the
got
first
cheated
one.
on in seventh
So
grade.
Yes.
Like,
Siobhan,
you
I
gotta
got
let
a
it
question
go.
for you.
Yes.
Do you share your whereabouts, or do you talk to your spouse throughout the day, like just as general conversation with things that are
Yes.
going on?
Yes.
I thought that's normal. I don't see
Yes.
why.
I think it's normal too, and I think the parties at hand know when they're trying to be controlling and when
Right.
it's not.
Right,
This
but-
is a good
but it's
question, but this is Tyrone again's his comment. He says, because, which I don't necessarily agree with 100%, because your lack of trust, that's why women prefer transparency. Most women lose men when they feel a woman.
It's too nosy and untrusting.
I agree
Tyrone,
with
I
that
think
too.
I don't think you understand what I mean by transparency. Because I think we're conflating the two. I think some people are conflating the two. Ms. Palmer pointed that out. Transparency is, I'm having a conversation with the person I'm in a relationship with, whether it be my girlfriend or whether it be somebody that I am intimately involved in.
Mhm.
Transparency is what you see is what you get.
I like that one.
Yep.
Honesty is, if you ask me, I'll tell you. If somebody says, Shar, where you get the shoes from? I'm gonna tell you where I got the shoes from. If Crystal's my girlfriend, I'm gonna say, girl, I was in Gucci yesterday and I got these shoes. So that's the difference between transparency and honesty.
Mhm.
It's not trying to, and I have a kid. Well, he's not a kid, he's a young adult. So he's recently graduated from college, right? And he's, you know how they get into the phase where they just, everything's about them being an adult and they want to be demonstrative about
I'm going through that
adulthood.
right now with my 18-year-old.
Yeah, everything's about I'm an adult. Everything's demonstrative. Like
Shut
if
up.
I say, call me when you get to the airport or when you board the plane, let me know you boarded and landed. Oh, I'm an adult. No, you see that filter I'm talking about?
Yes,
Right.
The
yes.
filter it's being filtered through immature lenses.
Yep.
It's been
There it
ingested through
is.
immaturity.
Mhm.
So I guess when people are
I'm a
talking about
grown
checking
man.
in, it's the same thing.
I agree.
You ingest information.
Yeah.
I happen to like the person I'm with. I happen to talk to him 50 times a day. I laugh and joke. He's my BFF. We talk about anything from politics to he gets my crazy dark humor. So
And that's
it's
something else that you said that was good, not to cut you off, but you said you talk. And with talking, you gotta have that foundation of communication. Like I'm supposed to be able to come to you and tell you any and everything because that's that foundation that was laid. So yes, I can be transparent with you. Yes, I can be vulnerable with you.
Mm.
I can tell you my most deepest secret because not only do I like you, I trust you and I'm
Right.
open with you and I'm letting you know everything and you're taking that in and it's being reciprocated and communication. A lot of people don't talk anymore.
Yeah.
They lose that in that relationship.
we see it on social media. People
Mhm.
aren't talking, they're insisting
Texting.
and texting and
Mhm.
insisting. I mean, our
I'm a
community as a
personal fan
whole.
of texting, but that's another thing.
I'm a
I like
text.
texting too.
I like texting, but in order to cultivate
Relationships.
relationships
Mhm.
and to invest in
Right.
relationships,
Yeah.
there has to be conversation because texting, the context could be taken
That's
off.
true. That's
Yes,
true.
and you don't know like what form it comes from. Like me, I type in all caps. It just
Oh, I
looks
do too
better
because
on
I'm
paper.
And
blind.
then it's like you're
So
shouting. That's what I
yeah,
found out.
and when I'm
Somebody's
texting, it's all caps.
Somebody said that to me on social media, and I hadn't got my glasses yet, right? And I have astigmatism in one of the eyes, so I need all caps. So they were like, "Stop yelling at me," and I was like, "You can't yell through Facebook. Are you serious?" And
Yeah, but because it
we're
was in all
so sensitive and
caps.
so
Correct.
emotional.
Yep.
Listen, I don't care what font or what text, what you text me in. Just text me back. I mean,
You just want to know.
I'll
that's
say this though, when I meet a man, because I'm single, and
And she can get y'all a house and she got lingerie.
there you go.
right,
And
right.
you can contact me at 312-877-6687, or you can email me at crystallewis.kw.com. Now, what I was going to say was that when a man does call me, it does spark my interest more. So
Yes.
if I text you and then instead of you texting me back, you pick up the phone and call me, I say, well, I can tell that he's more into communicating versus texting. So that does spark my interest. That doesn't necessarily mean that it goes anywhere, but that definitely means that at least sparks my interest
I'm
because it is about
I'm
communication.
the same way. When people are reaching out, or even if there's an interest or business, I, most times you guys will find me picking up the phone and calling you because um, yeah, you said text that there is texting etiquette that people are not aware of. Yeah, I'm not.
You can't
Girl, I'm
always
not.
text everything. Some
All
things you
caps
need
is
that
actually screaming.
See,
conversation
I'm
to
gonna
have.
defend
All
myself. I'm
caps
going to.
is
No,
Char
but
can't
I'm a
see.
texter too. Don't get me. I will
I'm
text
going to
you in a
defend
heartbeat.
myself. The reason I say I'm a texter is because I work on my phone. So 9 out of 10 times I am doing something. I'm either designing or I'm editing and I work on my phone. And it's just my preference.
Texting's fine. I
And
do it at work. I do it while I'm at work because it's difficult to talk and do what I'm doing. Texting's fine.
I also have ADHD. So
Yep.
I was diagnosed with ADHD at 7. So it's real. So I have to have that like when it comes to certain things, it helps me to just remember I can pull that back up and say, okay, or I'll say send me an email. But
Right.
however, because I do understand that things can be lost in context, if there is certain conversations like for business especially, we're gonna have a phone call. We're gonna
Right.
have a
And that's when
conversation just to
that
make
call
sure
comes in and say,
yeah, it's clear.
when can you put me on your schedule? When
Yeah.
can we talk?
Yeah.
Because that person may be busy. They
Yeah.
may be tied up, or at that moment they just can't talk. And I just believe a lot of stuff is is personal and private, and you
Yeah.
don't want to put a lot of that stuff out there. So
Yeah.
let's jump on the call now. With
That's true.
technology,
You're right about
we
that.
have Zoom, we have Microsoft Teams, we have Slack. There's
True.
so many ways that we can connect face to face to get that interaction that we're looking for. But I'm a texter too. I talk on the phone all day at work. When I get off work, I don't want to talk on the
I
phone.
don't want to see a phone.
I think business is good for texting sometimes because documentation
Yes.
beats
Absolutely.
Yes,
conversation.
email.
Absolutely.
Yes, email.
Mhm.
And I do it all. You can mail me a letter if you want to. You can fax
You know what,
me.
Shavonna?
So-
I think that's where that came from. Now that I think about it, because I worked in call centers for a really long time, and that's probably where that roots from.
It
I
did.
did not want to see a phone at the end of the day.
It did.
No, and I probably didn't even want to text. So, but again, if I really like you,
Right. Crystal said something earlier, and she said that I really don't want to be bothered with anybody that personal, like in her business.
Mm.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, when did I say that?
You were, well, you didn't say it in that way.
Okay.
Basically, what you
Okay.
said is you said
yeah, we got.
I don't want anybody in. I'm not sharing everything with anybody with or something like to that.
As far
degree,
as
right?
checking in.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
checking in
well,
and
well,
letting
I
them-
don't even want to use the word checking in.
I don't thank you because I
Yeah.
don't like that either.
Okay. Yeah, I
We
won't
don't-
use the word
I was just
checking in.
bringing what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I won't use the word checking in, but I feel like everyone is entitled to having their own personal life outside of their relationship.
You
with that
have
person.
to.
Absolutely.
Right. So I
Mhm.
think a lot of times when you do too much giving of information before that time is right, you're building a platform or the stage for a person to feel as though you have to tell them every move that you
Oh,
make.
someone said
entitled.
Crystal doesn't want a relationship. She wants a special friend.
Well, thanks for speaking for me. But I do want a special friend. That is correct. I do want a special friend, and I want a friendship before I dive off into creating a relationship. I want to like the person, as Shar said, that I'm dating and getting to know. I don't want anyone trying to press me into anything, and I'm not going to pressure you into anything.
That's important.
Right.
So
That's-
that
that's
is
a-
the correct
And
statement.
So
that's why Shar
that bring-
has intentional dating.
That's why I have.
Here we
Love
go.
Etc.,
I
right?
segue into it. Give
That's
it to
why I
us,
have
Shar.
love, etc. Listen, you should know what your interest, your love interest, or your special interest. You should know what their intentions are.
Mm.
Communication, talking, not texting, will get you there. So, Love Etc. is a platform that I started. It's a dating platform, and it's about intentional dating with long term and commitments. She said being transparent and vulnerable allows that, Crystal. Yeah,
Thank
it
you.
does.
Mm.
So if you're interested in long-term dating, you're interested in marriage, this is the platform for you. I deal with a lot of people and I deal with a lot of men. I work in a male-dominated field. So I know. So over a period of time, the last year or so, I kept having these redundant conversations. Men want the same thing we want,
I
ladies.
agree.
They want transparency. They want a decent relationship. They want somebody to love and care for them. They want, fidelity.
And a
They
decent
want all.
woman.
They want all these things, and they're repeatedly telling me that there's not a suitable interest. There's no one suitable that fits that interest.
Hmm.
So with that being said, I thought about, and of course I know women all the time. I know my girlfriends and the women I know and the groups I'm involved in and the boards I sit on. I hear it all the time too. So I thought about bringing the two together and, love conquers all, right?
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So we're launching, is it December 9th? No, December 8th.
We got to ask her assistant.
Right. And the assistant comes December 1st. See? That's
So
why
let me
need
tell you
that
a secret
assistant.
why Brian got me the assistant, right? Brian got me the assistant because I was putting him to work. I had asked
That's
him to do a
how
couple
sure.
tasks,
Oh, you
right?
can't ask Brian to do no tasks.
Baby, he did it, but he was like, look, Shar, you got to get an assistant. 'cause,
Oh, yeah.
So it's December the 8th. That's
go.
when it is.
Okay.
And we have our birthday party, Toki. Anybody has been following us for the last few weeks at Dollhouse, our birthday party is going to be the 7th at Toki Shop at 9051 South on Stony Island. So that's going to be fun and lit.
I have
So
a
the
question, Shar.
launch
Oh,
for-
wait.
The launch for the dating platform. Can we get more information on that?
So that's, I'll have more details next week, but
Okay.
that's going to be, it's going to share the platform of my birthday, of course. The
Okay.
birth of my birthday, the birth of me, and the birth of the
Why not?
the platform.
That's
right?
that's your baby.
That's
Yep.
my baby.
So
and
I
it's
know
being
I'm gonna
birthed.
get your taxes.
So can we know, is this going to be, is this like website, app, everything?
It's going to be app, website. It's going to be, I like interactive things. Though.
Are you going to do like some actual events?
Some actual events where, remember the
Face
old
to face?
face to face
Ooh.
love connections. Do you guys remember exactly I told you about it, the
Yes.
whole game show Love
Yes.
Connection?
Yes,
We're gonna
with
do
the
that.
couch. It was pink and like
Yes.
purple.
So guess what I've been doing? I've been gathering questions. I've been
Ooh.
asking men to give me 10 questions, and some women, for questions that you would pose if you, to potential love interest, whether it be, commitment or marriage. Before I took the next step, if I'm going to take the next step, hey, listen, these are the questions that I would want to know before making my decision to say whether we're going to lock this in solid, either longevity or, committed marriage. So it's been interesting. You should see some of the
That's
questions.
good.
I would love
One
to see some
question
of
that
those
I
questions.
wanted to ask in your conversation with men: do you think that men have stepped away? Because on social media, I see a lot of men, which I find very unfortunate, that a lot of times they're like, I'm not taking care of no woman. I'm not going to do this and I'm not going to do that. And I just think that that's the wrong way to lead into a relationship, that you just have this mindset. And taking care of a woman is not necessarily paying all of her bills so much per se, which that's good. But, but you have to,
Salute to that.
women have a role that they play and men have a role that they play in a relationship.
Right. So I want a priest, provider, and protector. Everyone has their own journey and their own requirements. That's just my requirement. I actually appreciate men who tell me who they are up front. And if you lead with that, then, generally I will delve into what you mean by that. Because if you're thinking I'm going to stay at home and pick my nose and wait for your money to come in, that's not what it is. We're going to blow up together.
Right.
So
we're going to strive. That was last week's conversation with Brian, remember? At the restaurant.
So I teach my boys. Yeah, oh gosh, please don't bring up
the
that.
McFlurries.
Right. The McFlurries. I teach my boys to be priest, provider, and protectors, to be the leader in their household. How can you join forces with someone and you don't know how to lead your own camp? So get someone, pick a mate or someone who is quality.
Not a
liability, but you need to be able to pay your own bills. You don't get a woman that you need to help support you. Live within your means. Don't commit until you are a priest, provider, and protector. And I also tell my boys, you have no darn business dating if you don't have your ish together. Get your ish together.
There it is.
Get your ish together.
You got to be
and
together.
then date.
There
you
it
can't
is.
come half stepping like.
I just don't like that a lot of the men are leading with that whole. That's a negative way to come into the dynamic of getting to know a woman, to me, because we're beautiful, we're soft.
I feel like that's some transparency though, and it just makes it easier to say no, thank you,
right?
And keep it moving,
and it lets you know upfront what you're looking for.
No,
but
that's
like
true.
you said,
I agree with you.
Like
saying.
you said, you
That's
gotta
true.
put yourself in that
and I feel like
environment.
with what Char's doing, like there should be that criteria where ahead of time.
That's why it's intentional. If you're on my platform, there's no question about you wanting long term,
absolutely,
or you want marriage.
Yeah.
Now, you may not get a match right away.
Right.
You may not find somebody right away, but at least you're intentional. You know everybody on this platform has the same intention.
Remember $1 Million Matchmaker? Remember her?
No, I don't.
You don't remember?
So I remember that. I remember it a little bit. I don't remember watching, but I remember the name itself. So are we signing Crystal up or what?
You can sign me up.
Maybe Crystal's going to be the model for it, baby.
Going to be the model.
Listen, we're going to have Crystal being the model. We're going to have all the millionaires and everybody coming for Crystal.
There we go.
Come on. That's what I want.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
So let me jump in and let me go to Miss CEO Lexi.
Yes.
You asked me about having musicians.
Entertainers in general.
So I said, and I've always told my close circle of friends and family, like, I love music and I come from a music background, and one of my favorite artists, new artists for this generation, is Lil Baby.
Okay.
And I always said, like, that's gonna be my client. Like, he's gonna look me up and he's gonna be my client. And
Speak
we
it
laugh
into
at that.
existence.
Yes, and you're in the music industry, and that's building those relationships and hosting those events and coming out and educating people
Yes.
because you want your entertainers to know, look, like you said, you need to be incorporated, but did they do their due diligence? Did they do their research? Why are they choosing this over that?
Yeah.
You know, they want to go to someone that's not just familiar, but know, and again, that don't mind saying, I'll let you know. Let me go finish doing my research.
Right.
Like now there's a new act in effect, the corporate transportation act for businesses that were in effect before 2024, and you have to be registered.
Is that the BOI?
Yes,
Okay.
you have to be registered by January 2025.
Right.
And a lot of businesses just don't know that. So
A
I
lot
have
of
a-
businesses also, and I don't want to cut you off, a lot of businesses also don't understand that they need to file annual reports
yes,
to
your
stay in
annual
good
corporate
standing.
report, not just to stay in
And
good
when
standing,
you
but
said-
to keep that name.
When you said when you had said as a reminder, we're in the fourth quarter,
Mhm.
update your address and things like that.
Mhm.
That's something that I think a lot of people, they might go to like third party or they might do it themselves. And if your address isn't updated, you're not going to get that important
not.
information to know that you need to file
Right,
your
because-
annual report. And if you don't file your annual report in time, the fees that add on
Yes.
to that to even try to
And
reincorporate
oh
yourself,
yes, those are
they're
reinstatement fees.
astronomical.
Yes, and then you have to still pay the annual corporate report.
Yeah.
And sometimes people just forget about it, or they think it's it's gonna renew on its own. And no,
It doesn't.
and the
It'll be
Secretary of
gone.
State is very, very, very diligent at sending those out 30 days in advance. And if they have your email on file, they also email you notifications.
Yeah.
But again,
Absolutely.
that's where if you had an accounting agency behind
Yes.
you, they're your registered agent. So
They
everything
take care
will
of everything.
just
So
gonna
you
let
just
you
be
know.
like, bam,
Yes.
it's done.
So
Yes.
I have a question for you. So someone called me and said, you had to make sure you register your LLC. You
There
have
it
to
is, the
sign some
BOI.
paper.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what
That's
it
what
is.
we're
That's
talking
you're
about.
talking
Yes.
Okay. So you have to
Yes.
sign it before the end of the year, 31st, December 31st,
Yes.
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I can send you the information. Or
Now, what
Mr.
happens
Locke.
if you don't get charged $500 a day?
There's a very
There's a
big
stiff.
fee for that.
Yeah,
And I'm
I
wondering
think it
why.
goes up because they
Oh, I'm
want you to
sorry.
register it. That's why it's kind of like a catch-22.
It's a
like,
beneficiary.
yes, and it's
And
a
it-
catch-22. Like if
Let's
I
be
get
real
you-
honest of why they created it though. They created that because there's a lot of businesses that were created specifically just for PPPs. They
Yes,
created
they were.
businesses
Okay.
They were for the PPP loans.
That makes sense.
And now
and they're not in operation.
they're not.
And they got funding.
yes.
And so, to be honest, if you are a legitimate business, even if you aren't, I don't know, I can't give you that advice, but I will tell you to get that paperwork filled out and filed because it is a legitimate thing. I would not say go through a third party because there's no fees. It took me
It's
less
easy to
than
do it.
it took me less than 20
Although I
minutes.
haven't, but I need
Mhm.
to.
It took me less than 20
Yes.
minutes to fill that information out and upload what was needed, and bam, done.
And it's legal. You don't have to
Yes.
be leery because
Yeah.
a lot of people think that, this is because your EIN number is like your social, right?
It is.
That what identifies you when you call any federal or state local
And they mailed
entity.
out and
Mhm.
emailed businesses. If your information is updated and correct, they also did send out that information.
did.
So yes, if you do have an LLC or a business incorporated, get that paperwork filled out. I can post it on my
Yeah,
page.
do-
I'll
yeah,
post it on
drop
my
it in
page.
our
I'm
chat.
gonna send it
That'll
to
be
you
good.
guys
Drop
in the
it in
group
our
chat.
chat.
Go
But
ahead,
I
go
will
ahead.
put it on my Facebook page too, to those people that know me, that are tuned in.
Yeah.
I will post that on my page because I actually filled one out for one of my clients not too long ago, and I did my own. And I was like, because I kind of was
Yeah.
like pushing it to the side, like, oh, and then
Is it an Illinois thing or an IRS?
no, it's
thing?
federal.
No, it's federal.
Yeah.
It's an
Yeah.
act. It's federal.
And it's
Okay.
another way that you can catch people slacking and then charge them
Yeah,
up
And
all
charge
that
fees.
stuff.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But,
And,
you
and they
know-
just want you to be legit across the board.
And if you can't
Okay.
handle all your business and you don't have an assistant or you don't have an accountant, get one, because these are the things that are important.
Well, that sounds really, really, really simple. One of the girls that I mentor, she has a business like a bakery, and she does okay,
Mhm.
but it's barely okay.
Mhm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that sounds really good for one of us,
Yeah.
but they're struggling to get ingredients to make the cakes and the cookies.
Well, you know where they should
So
be.
you should say, well, you listen, you,
You know where they should be, right?
where should they be?
You know where they should be.
Where should they be?
They
the
should
17th.
be at $1 million of funding Small Business
Right.
Summit on November 17th from
Well, girl,
1
if
to
they-
7 p.m. at Zicomo Suites, 6343 Southwestern Avenue. Get those tickets, please, and be there if you are a business owner. There's people talking business registration and the legal protocols of it. There is
some
funding
sponsorships,
experts.
funding, yeah.
There is people that can help you build your business credit. If your personal credit is terrible, Coach O is there to help you with your personal credit. Gina Earl is there to help you with your business credit. This event is packed with industry professionals that will help you elevate your business. And if you don't have a business, but you're interested in becoming a business owner, you need to be in the building for this. These conversations that we're having,
Mhm.
a baker that's been in business, that's struggling to find out how to afford their ingredients, they need funding.
And I would like to say this too. A lot of times, because I have done it before myself, I've created an LLC without a business plan behind it.
Right.
Because I
Yes.
see everybody
Yes.
else creating
Yes.
LLC.
Yeah.
So when you do create your LLC, you do want to have a business behind it, a plan behind it that
Absolutely.
you want to construct and put together. And one of the things that I do hope that we're able to get our hands on is for small businesses that we are offered grants or something to help us push forward, because
Mhm.
we need those.
There's a
things.
multitude
Yes.
of grants out there to small businesses, to minority owned business, to women owned business. I get an email almost every day.
So wait a second. There needs to be a resource center, probably part of our hosting here
Here we go.
to help small
can,
businesses.
Yes, we
We're
can.
financial women here.
We can.
let's get it.
And all of us are on social media. So, and that's another thing. Last week I touched about us keeping it as a one-stop shop. We post literature about that.
Yes.
We talk about generational wealth. We talk about marketing plans, business plans. We also write those. We encourage those for any business that come through the door. Not only do we do just small stuff like that that's in-house, there's budgeting and forecasting, and
Because you need that when you get ready to go to the bank to try to get some money.
you definitely do.
And since this is just our second show, I do want to put it out there to everybody that I will be creating our a Facebook page, our own brand, just specific to us, so we can all utilize that and put our tips up there. We can put
God's
information out there.
goddesses.
So we'll have that platform very soon. I've been busy. I've been working.
I do want to say this. I had a conceal and carry class today, and I love what I do. I bring high energy and a lot of facts, and I'm passionate about it because our people go to jail for things that they should have been taught,
Trying to protect themselves.
trying to protect themselves.
Mm.
But I understand why some people shouldn't have conceal and carry.
Yeah.
There should be an aptitude test.
There should absolutely
there definitely
be,
should be an aptitude
there should be
test.
more than an application.
Yeah.
I agree
Not
with
this
that
class.
100%.
This class today was absolutely amazing, but
Sometimes it make you
There,
question.
but they do a background check.
A
And
background
So
check
that
is
just
not
means-
psychological.
no, that just
Right.
means
they,
you.
as I said, they need to have a
Yeah.
psychological, because there's too much going on in the world.
So even if
It is.
you
You don't know who's
you
quick
could
tempered.
actually be, and you could have been an offender in the past and still get a conceal and carry and
5 years,
avoid.
right?
No, you can have an arrest history. It's just certain arrests are prohibit you from having a conceal and carry.
Okay.
So with that being said, we need to keep our eye out for people who should not have conceal and carry. And I joke by saying that, but there's a serious level of concern for me with that being, with
Yeah,
that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I was
So-
driving today thinking to myself, because I live by the Lord and I let the Lord protect me. But I did say to,
Crystal, she says she let the Lord, but the Lord, where the Lord guides, he provides. So he'll provide a pistol.
right. So that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say that.
Put
Char.
that
I was
as
gonna
one of our
say-
quotes right there. There
I
we
was
go.
gonna say I told myself when I was
That's a
driving,
quotable.
because of the forecast that we're in right now in
Mhm.
this world, I need to be able to protect myself, against a lunatic that's trying to, give me a hard time just by me
Absolutely.
being me,
Absolutely.
So,
because it's gonna go down.
so,
you ready?
so
I need to
I
get
am
ready.
less concerned about what could be and more concerned about what's happening. The lack of accountability here where we live,
Mm.
the criminal or the offender that's arrested multiple times,
I agree with that.
and when he's caught, he's only really caught and seriously charged and held accountable when, there's a loss of life. So if we track
agree with
back
that.
to all of the high profile cases, it wasn't the offender's first time, wasn't his second time, wasn't his fifth time, wasn't his 10th time.
Mhm.
So I'm more concerned about what's going on. I'm more concerned about the number at the end of the year, with us and conceal and carry, and the climate of what's going on in our state, not just the city, in the state.
Well, that's where for me, it goes down to the criminal justice system actually doing what it was designed and meant to do, because people need mental health help.
Yes.
They need
yes.
substance abuse help.
Yes.
They need alcohol abuse help. And that's the way that the guns and all of the violence and all of those things are gonna, in my
Crystal?
opinion, stop being so gone.
I'm going to tell you this: you have to want help.
I agree.
You do. You
There's
have to want help.
resources even available now. You have to want help.
And you got to want to receive that.
You got to
help,
want
too.
to, and you have to be held accountable in order to receive
yes,
help. We all
yes.
raise children, right? And my oldest is a limit tester. So if he came in the house at 10:30 and I said 10 o'clock, if he came in the house at 10:10 and I said 10 o'clock and I didn't say anything, the next time is going to be 10:30.
Right.
So if
Mhm.
there's no accountability, what's the incentive to stop?
Well, I think that when these individuals, a lot of times when they get caught, they have alcohol problems, they have drug problems. And when they get inside of the system, they're supposed to be placed in certain areas for them to get the help that they need. So I think that the job needs to be done at that level, because they're not going to get the help themselves. They're not seeking it out.
I got a question for you.
Mhm.
Have you ever been around anybody that's like had a problem?
I do quite often.
Okay. So no matter how much help, love can't help them, because you can love them to death. Love can't help them. Programs can help them. It has to start from, they have to be ready. You have to be willing to receive. You can put them right there. You remember that whole saying, you can take a horse to the well, but you can't make them drink.
To the water, but you can't make them drink.
Can't make them drink.
Right, but when they go inside of the system, the evaluation as to where they're at, what they got going on, in my opinion about it, they need to get the resources and the help that they need. It needs to be available to them.
It's available.
But they are available.
It's available.
Right,
they are.
It's available, and you have to be honest about it too.
And you got to want it.
You have to want it. You have to be honest.
Some things have to be forced on you. So when they go to these environments, they need to be they need to go to the drug treatment classes.
Let me tell you
or
this.
It should be a problem behind that.
There are some people who will sit through the drug classes simply to get time.
I know the drug program.
They'll go through the program to get and not affected. So, we talked about this. One of the young ladies brought this up in class, in the conceal and carry class earlier, and I forgot how she posed it. It was a question. There were people who went through it's a 6-month boot camp. They went through the boot camp and just figured out how they passed the word on how to stand the parameters of the boot camp, because they didn't want to go to actual prison.
Right. But somewhere in there, the hope and the faith has to be that somewhere they'll catch on. What I'm saying is that it's...
you want them to catch on. Right. You want them to grow. But again, like you said, They have to want to do it.
So
They have to.
Even if they
Crystal
don't, they
is
need
still
to
a-
take their butt there.
she's still a hopeless
I am.
romantic for them.
I am.
And I am a realist.
I have a
My
comment
sister
on
says
that.
I'm a. She
I have-
calls me sunny side up.
I have a comment on that.
She's a hopeless romantic for the offenders.
for-
I'm just realistic. Anyone who wants help, I think they should get help. We should pour into them. But if you're a 30-time offender, it's only a matter of time before you really.
I want to double back on that, but I do want to say one of our listeners, Tia Song, where it says one step is you have to be ready to give to yourself before you look to receive help. It starts with you, or it will be a recurring cycle.
Mhm.
And I
I
do
don't
want to
beg to
say,
differ.
I do want to say that I
I
feel
agree.
both of you are correct and have valid points. I think the one of the concerns is that the lack of knowledge and the lack of resources prior. So the fact that it got all the way to them being charged and going through the legal system, there's lack of resources and lack of knowledge in areas that starts at the root. It's
Mhm.
before you even get to the jail system, before you get arrested. You know what I'm saying?
We
Like
need
a
to
lot
start
of
parenting.
programs have been taken out.
Yes,
Parenting,
definitely.
absolutely.
Yes.
But then you have
yes.
parents
They
that
do
were
the best,
not even
and they do the best they
prepared to
can,
be
too.
parents. So you
So
have
let
a
me
lack
tell
of, like
you.
I said, a lack of
So-
knowledge and a lack of
So
resources.
if you go to school and you hide something from the teacher, say she say don't chew gum, and you're sneaking to chew gum, you know that you're doing something wrong. You know there's deception, right? You know
Correct.
so when let's take it to the relationship. When a man tells you or a woman tells you something that's misleading and they
Mhm.
know they're not being honest, they're being disingenuous about that, they know that's wrong.
Right.
Right.
Babies know. You ever came into a room and a baby had something and he hides it?
Mm-hmm.
Innately, people know right from wrong. Or you wouldn't run from the police. If I shoot someone, I wasn't even running. I didn't do anything wrong. People know right from wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're arrested 30 times, you know it was 30 different people that arrested you.
No, I agreed. I agreed with
you
what
know,
you were saying.
you're
that
the common denominator.
I
So-
agreed with both of you, and I didn't get to that in saying that that's true. You can only receive help if you're ready to receive it.
Yeah,
we
you
can
gotta want
you
that.
can people will manipulate the system. People will manipulate because that fear of, oh, or I don't want to be in jail, so what can I do to get out? So they might say, oh, I'll join this program, I'll join this boot camp, I'll do that so I can get out. So I agree with both of you. I always look at it on a even further deeper level and say, hey, there's which I'm pretty sure everybody can agree with, that there's issues in our
it's issue within our community.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think
You
once
see that in
once
music.
that person comes in and they have an opioid problem, right? And you see that they have an opioid problem, they've been tested for drugs, they have an opioid problem. They need to be placed in an environment that caters to that, whether they like it or not, in hopes that something will catch on and trigger for the time that they're in there. Not that they don't get punished for what they're doing, but throughout their punishment, they're actually in there to be restored, whether they like it or not. Because they got to be in there anyway. That's the way that I think the criminal justice system should be handled in that aspect. Because these people, why do they keep committing and repeating the same crime?
Because they're not being held accountable.
And because their cognitive thinking from the drugs create that space where they just keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So when they get in the system, find a way to make it so that they have to get this.
You
assistance
have to
whether they
want.
like it. I know
Let
they
me tell
do,
you.
but I'm saying hopefully
Let me
it'll
give
catch
you
on.
in this. Let me give it to you in this way.
Mhm.
You meet a man, and we've all had this scenario. You meet someone that is totally smitten with you. They
Mhm.
buy you everything. They love bomb you. They do everything right. They're calling you 50 times a day. You know, they're showing up with flowers, anything you like. They're listening. They're meeting your needs, but you still don't like them.
Mm.
You end up not being with them. We've all had that, right?
Mhm.
In life, we've all had that. It's the same thing with people who have problems.
Mhm.
You have to be open to receive that, no matter what they give you, where they put you, how they love bomb you. Because
You
a
gotta
lot of
meet people
times
where they
you
at.
have to be open to receive it.
I agree.
Otherwise, it's going nowhere like that relationship.
I
But
agree.
you also got to meet people where they are. You have to meet them exactly where they're at. And that says a lot about it too, because if you're here and I'm trying to have a conversation with you and you're all the way up there, I don't feel like I can talk to you.
Well, I
don't
said
feel
that
like,
earlier.
right.
Yeah.
I don't feel like you can be on my level. So you
I said
have
that
to
earlier.
meet people, but you can also learn from those same people too.
True.
You can also learn.
I said that earlier. Remember, I said if you have a friend and I'm up here, you can't talk to me from down
Right.
here. You have to maybe yell or check me from here where I am.
Come up, meet me.
Yeah,
up
you have to
my
meet
level.
me.
And
And
that
my
don't
friends
that
and
don't
family
mean
do
that I'm
that.
gonna treat you any differently. That don't mean that I love you any differently. It just means that we're on two different levels.
Mhm.
And I decided to go this way and you decided to go that way. That doesn't say that that's the wrong path. No, we just chose two different journeys. Everyone can't walk in the same shoes. We
Right.
can't walk in the same footsteps.
Two different journeys to come up with a positive result, hopefully.
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely. You have to.
Well,
You
I
have to.
I guess I'm in the thick with the people.
Uh-oh.
Why do you say such a thing?
I am. I
She's
see
a
it from certain certain aspects. I see it from every aspect. People often say because I'm in law enforcement that I don't understand or I see things because I'm blue or I've heard that if I had a penny for every time I heard that I'd be rich. And I beg to differ. I birthed, nursed, reared, and gave my heart
To black men.
to three beautiful black men. So I am who I am because my mother did the same thing for me. But these are black men that I love. I laid out my life for. They're my everything. They're the reason my heart beats.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm never going to side or do anything that's going to contradict their path or their life or their safety.
Right. You want what's best for them.
And that includes everything in all aspects, even the
Mhm.
law. I just see things. It's black and white. It's no gray area. I'm not leading with emotions.
I like to use the phrase that I see and hear of a world that we're both so deaf and blind to.
Mhm.
And again, we can both perceive it. It could be told to us in one way, but how you and I perceive it is going to be something
So
totally different.
not so that's kind of not like how the law works.
That's
The law
true.
reads
That's true.
red and white.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's green, then and that's the violation. That's an example. But if
Right.
it's green, then it's not right. So I don't bring emotions into it. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
to you?
of course, of course. Sometimes you can't have emotions.
Well, in law, you can't. You got to have
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah, law is definitely
Sometimes
I
facts.
agree. We gotta have
sometimes
facts.
I don't like that it's red. I think maybe it should be blue, or I don't like that
But
it's
it's the
white,
law.
but it's the law, so it's not my opinion. My opinion, I have to sometimes search deep for it on certain situations
'Cause you gotta
because
deal with the facts.
I'm dealing with the facts of what's
Right.
going on.
It's
A good
right there in the
example
middle.
of that, and I know you criminal, right?
Mhm.
I've been I don't know what the word is because it's not really a legal aid, but I've assisted in family court for
Oh.
fathers
Okay.
quite a few years ago,
Mhm.
and that's one of those courtrooms where you just hear emotion, emotion, emotion,
Oh,
emotion,
yeah.
and the court is
Yeah.
telling you no, fact, fact.
Right.
And
Social
they
media,
want the
social
proof. They
media,
want
social
what's in
media.
black and white.
You hear
Show me.
emotion,
Like
and
you
the
can't-
fact, and when you interject fact, and then you get trolls. So
Yes.
You can't walk
yes.
in that
Or
courtroom
every time I talk to an attorney and I start saying, "Well, I think they said no. Let's
It's not
go
what
back
you
to the
do,
facts."
facts.
Yes.
'Cause
So
you
that's
cannot
where I
walk
get
into
to-
show
that's why I
me.
say, let's talk about the facts
Right.
all
Or,
the
or,
time.
or they'll
Cannot
say,
walk
show
into
me.
that
Where
courtroom.
is it written at?
Or-
Where's the documentation
right,
of
or
that?
an officer shows up at your house and you say, "Oh, this is what happened last week." No, tell me what happened today. Why am I here?
Right.
You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? Or what if he comes back? Well, call us when he comes back, and these are your options.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You cannot walk into a courtroom and give your emotion to the judge.
they
you
always
can,
do though.
You can,
But it's going
It's
nowhere.
going to
Right,
be
they
like,
do.
shoot.
It's going
Right.
nowhere.
In and out. In and out.
It's going
Yeah.
nowhere.
In and out.
Family court was definitely an experience for me, and I learned a whole lot. And I had to learn all of that, and I'm grateful for a lot of that because it helped with reading legally. So
And
even
it's-
now in my position, when I come across contracts and things like that,
And
and
I
now
think
even
you
with the
can have
union,
empathy.
it's like, oh,
Yeah, you do.
absolutely.
You know, you can have
You
But
know,
you gotta have facts.
That's never. And
Oh, I
so
get it.
I see
Yeah.
this is never publicized. I see people paying for graduations. I see people feeding people. I see officers adopting kids they come in contact with. That stuff's never publicized because these are real people. These are
Right.
people.
And
I
it should
see
be.
people doing prom dresses. I see people feeding the homeless, and that's never publicized.
And it
When
should
you say
be.
people, you mean police officers?
Police officers,
Well,
when I
I
refer
had,
to people.
and one day I might tell my story, but it did get told for me, not the way I wanted to get told. But I had a situation with the law enforcement, CPD, and
Don't be putting names out there. Don't
oh,
be
I'm
talking
not
about my people.
Oh, I'm not saying
Uh-oh,
anything
uh-oh.
negative. I'm not saying nothing
I'm
negative.
teasing,
Oh,
Crystal.
I got you. Everything I'm finna say is positive because things could have went all the way differently. I could be without one of my beautiful children right now if the CPD did not handle that situation appropriately.
Mm.
So, and I went and paid homage to the police. I gave a barbecue. We had a barbecue at the police station on 71st and Cottage Grove.
7040 South Cottage.
Yeah, so for me, I know that there are great officers, and I definitely believe in law and order. I just think that we all need to follow
Great
it.
TV
all
show.
of it.
Great TV show.
So I think the problem that I believe in this. I believe in, and that's why I go and above and beyond in my conceal and carry class. I believe that sometimes we don't know the what, the ifs, the whys, and we interject a little bit of what we've heard in the hood or a little bit what we see on television.
Yep.
And
what
believe it or
somebody
not,
told
when we're
us.
watching television, y'all know laws vary. No, I mean people, because if I heard a penny for every time I heard assault and battery, there's no such thing. You either assault someone or you batter them. It's no, they
They don't combine.
So I think that people just don't know, and they come up with their own passionate opinions and responses to things. And I kind of lead you in my class when we're talking about interaction with law enforcement, and I show you things, and sometimes I have to show a video twice in order for them to really,
Catch
really
on.
understand and get it. And they walk out with a different perspective.
Mhm.
So I think that's what it is. I think it's all about people not knowing.
And you know what?
Yeah.
As we wrap up this show, we've had a phenomenal 2 hours here.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Shar, can you please let everyone know how they can get in touch with you and the information on JBL Academy?
Absolutely. I am Char Lewis, and I am on all platforms at Char Lewis. You can also reach out at JBL Training Academy on social media platforms. My phone number is 844-426-6232. 844-426-6232, or my personal cell is 312-937-6227. And I give that out because a lot of people have things they want to discuss and they don't want to put it on a platform. They have questions about previous arrests and that kind of, stuff.
Mhm.
So you can reach me or either thecharlewis@gmail.com. So let's get you licensed to conceal and carry. Just because you've had an arrest does not preclude you from having a conceal and carry. Let's talk about it. Let's see how we can fix that. All right.
And Crystal?
Hi there, everyone. I'm Crystal, your realtor. You can reach me and email me. First, you can call me at 312-877-6687. That's my telephone number. You can also email me regarding real estate at Crystal Lewis, CrystalLewis @kw.com. I put my clients' needs first. I'm concerned about making sure that you are 100% satisfied. And if you need any lingerie, please contact me at 312-877-6687. And lastly, I will be getting my master's degree in criminal justice on tomorrow. So I am very
Congratulations.
Thank
Good
you.
stuff. Congratulations.
And Shavana.
Yes, Anointed Accounting. That's www.anointedaccounting. I'm also on all social media platforms under Anointed Accounting, and our telephone number is 312-837-7219. I look forward to talking to you sooner than later.
And you can find me on Facebook at Alexis Arce, all social medias at CEO Lexi Couture, and at www.couturemusicmgmt.com. I do want to say thank you to all of our listeners and everyone that interacted and called in with us. Please catch us at $1 Million of Funding, November 11th, 1 to 7 p.m. at Zicomo Suites, 6343 Southwestern Avenue. Your tickets are at www.americandreamtaxoffice.net. Thank you for tuning into the Super Business Women Show on Intellectual Radio. Oh, did we segue to Do You Think of Me? Oh my goodness.
Wow.
That does not sound like Lexi, though. Baby, go ahead.
That's CEO Lexi.
That's right.
I had to listen to it twice.
So demure.
I had to listen to that twice. I was like,
It reminds me like of a Moni Love.
Hip hop.
Yes, it was nice.
At least we should have stayed friends.
Yeah,
So
I
much
like
love
you,
to
girl.
see you think of me. We
Girl.
love to hug and kiss. We love to rub that love is what I miss. Do you think of me or how I could be more than just another casualty in need?